Alright, so the next thing that we're going to add in is, if you guys remember the original idea for the game, it's kind of like you're jumping around on some platforms, and we're going to shoot blocks and stuff. So for the beginning of this, we'll probably just get the art portion of this done, and we'll cover bullets next week. So hopefully everyone has a game where you can move your character around, but I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to have a game that has a smiley face that's kind of angry looking. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is to swap out some textures. So if you guys go to the Assets folder in that Google Drive, you'll see a bunch of pictures that I have in there automatically. So find the picture of this guy and download him, and we're going to put him into the game. Alright, if you guys are wondering where to save him, there is an Assets folder inside of your game. Currently there is one picture, which is just our little guy here. The folder that it's saved under is your core folder, not your desktop folder. So if you go into your game and then go to the /core, so it's wherever you decided to save your project. Then you can go to Assets, and that's where you want to put your person. Another alternative, which is a lot easier, is dragging and dropping it into your... Do I have a picture of it? Yes, kind of. If you drag and drop your file onto this little folder right here, Assets, it does everything for you. So that's also the easier way, but I figured I would show you how to do it this way as well. One quick note is this is not your workspace, because if you remember, our project is outside of the workspace, so don't go into your workspace folder expecting to find this. It's wherever you created your project. For a lot of you guys, it should be your desktop. Now after you have that, using it is very easy to do. So if you look to your create code, we've got a variable called image, which is a texture. Instead of loading up our badlogic.jpg, switch that over to load this new picture, which is player.png. Make sure that you change the extension, because I had an error where I could not figure it out. And I was trying to load player.jpg when I needed .png. Alright, from what I'm seeing on your computer is you are probably getting this error right here, which is going to tell you that the file is not found. The reason that I actually put this in here is because I have been asked so many times by people why their program isn't working, and that is because we put it in the Assets folder, but Eclipse is trying to be very efficient by not refreshing everything all the time. So Eclipse doesn't know that you put that file in your folder. So after you do that, you need to basically refresh your project to let it know of any new files. So if you right-click on your core project and click on refresh, or if you just click the F5, like click on it and hit F5, it'll refresh it. It'll let Java know that, or it'll let Eclipse know that you put in a new picture, and everything should work if you run it. Is this working for everyone? Now you should have a little guy. Feel free to change. Gotta make sure that this can hear me. Feel free to change up this drawing now. If you want to make your own art, that'd be awesome. I am horrible at doing art. This is actually, I took like the really old Game Boy Mega Man texture, and I kind of changed some colors, added some stuff, and made his arms a little further apart. But other than that, you can make any picture. Now the only stipulation is that the size of your image has to be a power of 2. And by that it means it has to be 2 pixels, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, going on from there. The reason for that is extremely complicated, and it has to do with your graphics card being able to load things up efficiently. It doesn't have to be a square texture, so you could have a picture that's 64 wide by 32 tall. Just keep in mind that it doesn't mean divisible by 2, so you can't have a 100 by 100 texture. It has to be like 128 by 128. Anything that's extra, don't worry about it. If it's transparent, you won't even see it on your screen. But if you guys do decide to do art, I would appreciate it if you sent it to me, so that way we can try to get some variations going on here rather than my own stuff, because I am horrible at using GIMP and Photoshop. So yes. Yes. You want this to be Y and this to be Y as well. Yep. Otherwise you're updating your exposition. Yep. That's a perfect example. Okay, I'll take it. Alright, and then the last thing that we're going to do is being able to see your person on a red background is very difficult. So if you remember back to last week, we had this little chunk of code here, which basically sets the background color. It sets the clear color. There's 4 parts to it, which is red, green, blue, and alpha. Alpha is transparency. So to make our guy easier to see, I decided to set our color to black, which is 0% red, 0% green, 0% blue, but then still 100% transparency, because if you set that to 0, technically you're not doing anything at all. So if you set this to 0001, it'll make your entire screen black, which makes your person a lot easier to see. All right, and then this will be the last thing that we do for the day is I'm adding one more little piece of functionality in here. Right where we have our left and right arrow keys, where we're checking if those are pressed. This is still in your jelly.java, not in your key listener. Do one last thing. Check if a space button or up. You can do whatever you want. I chose space. All I'm doing here is setting my velocity to +2, which is almost like you're telling your person to jump up. So that is the last thing I'm going to add today. So when you press space, it should make your person kind of jump. You can technically fly, because if you hold space, it's going to keep your velocity at 2. But this will be good enough for now. We don't fix that until later, because it's not a big problem until later. So this is where I'm going to leave off. You should have a person that can go around side to side, jump. Hopefully your program doesn't crash. And if you guys have any questions, raise your hand right now and I'll stop by and help you out.